15th of September, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Or 7 lines down from the top of the page. In the middle of the line, the first word in the line is laknuye. Okay. On Tes Amid Beis, 6 lines from the top. Amarava. Okay, so we're ready to go. And we're going to call upon Roy to start the reading.
Rava said, if the seller said to the buyer, Kani Bahama Vakene Balim, acquire the animal and acquire the utensils on it. Me Kane Balim. Would he then acquire the utensils, as implied by Reb Eliezer's query? Presumably, this assumes that the animal would serve as the buyer's courtyard, so to speak. But surely it is a traveling courtyard. And a traveling courtyard cannot effect acquisition for its own. Tilma, and if you will say in reply that the share modar, that the animal serves as a buyer's courtyard when it stands still, but surely the rule is that when whatever cannot serve as a courtyard to effect acquisition while he's traveling, Omad cannot affect acquisition while he's standing still either. So the Gemara arrives at his final understanding of Eliezer's cause. The point of law about which Eliezer inquired concerns a case where the animal is bound. So in this case, says the art scroll, the animal can indeed serve as a courtyard since it does not have the capacity to travel. Therefore, Reb Eliezer had to make his inquiry in case where the animal itself is not being acquired and thus cannot serve as a courtyard to acquire the utensils.
Okay, let's see what Rashi tells us something over here. The first Rashi, I don't know if we did this. We did this long Rashi? Yeah, we did this long Rashi here. Mikani Kalim. Okay, that's. Oh, actually, this is no. We didn't do this Rashi because it's only today's Gemara is that's what Rava says. Rava Amale Kni Behemu Kni Kalim Mikani Kalim. Even in the case that he would say Kani, that was the Rebbe Lezer's reservation, that we didn't say Kani. So even if they'll say Kani, Rebbe says, Kani, the Behema, and also the Kalim that are on it, be Kani Kalim. Would he be able to be Kani the Kalim? And the Gemara said, Chatzim Aleches, because the Behema is regarded as a Chatzim Aleches, a moving Chatzer. A moving Chatzer is Lo Kone. So let's see Rashi over here. This is a long Rashi. We'll try to work through it. Phil, would you like to read this Rashi?
I don't see which Rashi is starting at.
Oh, this is this is Rashi Dibur Maskell Mi Koni Kalim. It's about 12 narrow lines down.
Mikani, okay, who acquires the kalim? Mikani Koilim. The Meshicha, by pulling it to them. The
Mi
Behema.
Koni Kalim, the Mashiach.
We're doing a pulling of the Behema. Im Behema, with the Behema, the Mikah, in that this may be he needs the mocher kalim. He needs to sell to you the kalim below behema, without the kalim alone, without the behema. Michlal, you can deduce from this the mocher, that was the sale of shneim, both. Shita, it's obvious to you, L'cha. And now we have a Bach here that's changing things. Was the Bach changing it too?
The Mi de Koni Behema. The Mi de Koni Behema.
Shita, it's obvious to you. The Adkani,
Mi de Koni Behema. Mi de Koni Behema, from the fact that he is Koni the Behema.
that he connects to the Behema.
Koni Kalim.
Okay, so it's a question of whether or not, it's an automatic thing that it goes along, the Kalim goes along with the Behema. Behema.
Right, Mishum Torah's Chotzer.
Mishum Torah's Chatzer, because of the law about having a Chatzer. The Kaimalan that establishes to you Chatzero Sheladam, the courtyard of a person. One requires for him who behemta, the Behema, Chatzero is like his Chatzer. Baha Chatzer Mechalechet, a traveling courtyard, who it is. The Chatzer Melechet, and a traveling courtyard, low Shmanim. We don't learn from this. The Katani that we taught Rebbe is that a name? The Chi that it is at Rabbi.
The key is Rabbi.
The Chi
It's
is
not
Rabbi.
a name. It's when the Torah was made a riboy. It's a method of drasha. The key is Rabbi.
Yeah, but it's in Git. This thing is.
Yeah.
Me'im Metzai, that is found. Team said, you find something, you go with your hand. Of Gago, his roof of Chatzero, of his Chatzer.
We found it on his
Karpifi. What's Karkifi? So that's like the surrounding area.
Yeah, Karfif is a certain type of a domain.
Yeah, but Rabbi, that would be added on the low nia without needing a star for it. The Habe Mishtamer. And this is like it's like guarded.
So in those areas, the pasuk said, if you found it in his hand. What's the whole business with you found it and you found it in his hand? That's the reboy. The extra lashon is the reboy and that will come to include not only when it was found in his hand, but even in these other places, on the roof, in his courtyard, in his karfif, his private domain, his rabbi. Those places that belong to him, that are controlled by him, so they're similar to his hand, and they'll be included in the Torah for the halacha that it says over there. So we see that there's such a thing as the chatzer makes a kinyan, but Rashi points out this is talking about a type of a chatzer, the lo nayad. It doesn't move around. It's not portable. It stays in its place. Bahavi mishtamer, and it's also a guarded area. So just like a hand is a guarded area, the person himself guards and controls things that are in his hand. It's a safe place for the item to be. So too, these places have that in common. Those are the two attributes that we need in order to make the riboy for these other domains, even though they're not actually the actual hand of the person. But an animal is a chatzim aleches, so it doesn't qualify, says Rashi, to be a place based upon this drasha in the Gemora in Gittin, to be a kinyan, just like a hand is. It's not included. Okay. So right. So that's basically what the Gemara says. Even if he would say the right language and specifically indicate a kinyan of the behema as well as the kalim, the seller, Rava says, "Mi kane kalim." Would it work to acquire the kalim? Won't work to acquire the kalim. Because even if you say that the kinyan mashicha of the animal will be sufficient and it will help to acquire the animal, but you need to say that the kalim are acquired through the din of kinyan chatzer. The behem is like a chatzer of the person, and so once he acquires, I guess, the behema, so that's his chatzer, and now the kalim that are in the chatzer, they will be acquired also. But this is a chatzer. The behema is a chatzer that is a chatzer maleches. It doesn't qualify as being a chatzer to make a kinyan. Okay, so then the Gemara said, let's say that you're doing the kinyan when the animal is standing still. And that's the next Rashi. V'chitema kisha omda. We go to Lu to read the next Rashi after that big Rashi. So you're reading V'chitema kisha omda. It's about in the middle of the narrow lines in Rashi.
Kisha amda. Let us say that it's standing. La'achar she akra yada uragala regala v'naknis lo habehema the Mashiach amda v'lo halcha v'naknu kelim be'amidasa dikana lo chatzro. So afterwards, what is this word, sha'akra?
After it was oker, after it uprooted, the animal uprooted.
Yada, his hand
Right, his hand,
and his foot,
right?
and it's acquired for him, the animal through Mashiach.
Mm-hmm.
Amda, he stood, and he didn't travel, and he acquired the vessels. The amidasa from the standing animal. The kana that he acquired low for himself, chatzro, half of it.
What's there?
Courtyard.
The courtyard. He acquired it from the courtyard.
Yeah, so Rashi's explaining how it works. Right, first he's gotta acquire the animal. You can only acquire the animal when the animal lifts up its legs and goes. That's the Kinyan Mashiach that we've been talking about all along. So in order to acquire the animal does have to move. So Rashi's saying, how do you work this deal over here? What does the Gemora mean when it says when the animal is standing? So Rashi says, yeah, it goes in steps. The first thing that happened was he acquired the animal when the animal lifted up its legs and went. Oh, so now that's a kinyan. So then Rashi says, after that happened, after he lifted up his front legs and his hind legs and nikdisno behema b'mashicha, and then the animal was acquired to the buyer through a kinyan mashicha. At that point, amda v'lo yholcha, then the animal stood stationary and did not go any further. And so that will now be our Gemora's suggestion. Let's say when the animal is standing still, meaning after he was acquired through Mashiach, he'll now stand still. And now, since he's standing still, Rashi continues, Niknu Kalim Ba'amidosa. Then the Kalim that are on the animal will be acquired to the buyer with his with the animal standing still, the konalo chatzero, because now that animal is acting like the chatzer of this person, like Rashi explained from the Gemora in Gittin, and then a person's chatzer will be kona what's contained in the chatzer. Since the kalim are on top of the animal, that'll be like they're sitting in the person's chatzer. And so here, like this, we have a chatzar which is not a chatzar maleches. So maybe that'll work. Okay. So then that, Gemora said, no, that's not going to work either. Because kol shilu mahalech lo kone, omud b'yoshev lo kone. As long as when it goes, he can't make a kinyan. Also, when it just stands, it doesn't go. He also cannot make a kinyan. That's a rule in the Hilchus Kinyanim with Chatzer, and so therefore this is not going to be an Eitzah, says the Gemara. We got another Rashi for that too. Let's take a look at the next Rashi. Phil.
We get to which Rashi? Now we're up to places. Okay, this is call she'enu. That's the one.
Yeah, kol she'ilu.
Kol she'ilu mahalach lo kana, and all that it is not traveling, as if it's traveling, does not acquire. Koloma to say kaven, since It's seen, to go, love, it's not similar. The chatzer, ain kona, and it doesn't acquire it, the Torah chatzer, according to the laws of a chatzer.
So Rashi is explaining a svara over here. The Gemora said a din. The din is, when it comes to chotzer, kol, any chotzer, she'ilu mahalech lokonet, that during the time that it is going, you cannot make a kinyan because it's a chotzer maleches. Omed b'yoshev lokonet, even when it's standing still, you cannot make a kinyan. That's the rule. So Rashi is explaining us how do we understand this rule? What's it all about? So Rashi says, Klema, the Gemora is saying like this, Kamen deru'uyahi leilech, since the animal intrinsically is fitting and capable, and that's what it does. It moves along. That's what it does. So therefore, since it has that capability, lav dumia de chatzerhi, it is not similar and comparable to the case of chatzer that the pasuk says is included in kinyan chatzer. The ein koina b'toras chatzer. Accordingly, it has no ability. An animal has no ability to be regarded as a chatzer and have the din of chatzer be applied to it, such that it should be kona the kalim that are on it. Okay, so then the Gemara answered the hilchasa b'chfusa. Okay. Literally, what that means is the halacha in this case with the animal and the kalim on it that we're talking about, that there will actually be a kinyan of the animal as well as of the kalim, is we're talking about when the animal is kafusa. Oh, so that kafusa means that it's tied up. It's restricted from movement. It's not able to move right now. So it's not real. It's not ruoi leilech. It's not fitting and capable of going anywhere. And so like that, it is comparable to a chatzer, and accordingly, it could be kona. Let's take a look what Rashi has to comment about this hilchasa. Back to Lou.
Okay, let's see exactly. Hilchasa. Hi, the fashita lay dechi amar lay kane behema bekane kalim kane. So here that it's obvious that this says to him, acquire the animal and acquire the vessels he acquires. Oh.
What's Rashi saying over here? We're doing Hilchasa here. Okay. Okay, so Rashi says, yeah, you finished reading, Phil? Lou?
Yeah, that's the end of that Rashi.
Okay, the Hilchasa. So Hilchasa, hi the pshitale Diki omole koni behema v'koni kelim. That when he said this, that it was pshita. That when the mocher said kni behema ukni kelim, so he said all the right words, and we said kani. We said that will be a valid kinyan. That has got to be that could only be such a thing could only be in a case of kfusa. Okay, so kfusa, we didn't read that one yet.
Okay. Kfusa. Let's explain what the word kfusa means. Okay. Kfusa. The Pshita is obvious to him. The Rumit, the Chatzer, the Domya, because it's similar to a Chatzer, who Kani acquires it. All of these, the Amrin that we say in the Gemora, the Omer that says, Rabba, Kol She'enu Mahalech, anything that's not traveling, Lo Kani doesn't acquire. The Chule, Mihachav here, Ka'amrele, is what he's saying.
Rabbi Levitt, you're muted.
Okay, thank you. Bikfusa he the pshitale, that which is we're saying is pashit is, and the Bach adds over here the word the kaven to dumulate the chotzer who konde. That since that animal which is tied up is comparable and very much like a chotzer, just like the chotzer is not capable of moving, so to the tied up animal not capable of moving. Therefore, we could say that that animal tied up will be included in the din of chotzer for kinyan. Right. V'kol heichadam rinin. Oh, so therefore the Gemora, whenever the Gemora says kol heichadam rinin, the Gemora Amar Rava said, he's the one that said these words. Kol she'elu mahalech lo koni, when it moves, it doesn't acquire. Even when it is standing, it also will not acquire. Mehacha ka'amrele. From here, they are saying this. From here, he said to him. A little bit not understanding what does Rashi mean over there from these words, these last three words over here. Mahacha ka'amre le. From here, they said to him, who's they and who's him? And what was it that they say? Three things, I don't know. Okay, only three. That's pretty good. All right. Okay, so what do we have over here? Hilchasa b'kfusa. Right? When the behemoth is tied up, it's not able to go. So then it has a perfect comparison to a chotzer, which is not maleches. That's the chotzer. Chotzer is not maleches. Chotzer maleches is not a chotzer. Fine. So like that, when the animal's tied up, we say that it was pashit to Rabbi Elazar, we're going back to Rebbe Lazar over here. That when he said that which is the one who's zocha in the behema, he'll also be zocha in the kelim. It was pasha to him that would work. But what was the point of Suffolk that he didn't know? How is it? Oh. Oh, they're saying over is a tosis over here. Oh, it's a long tosis. Okay, fine. Okay. I don't want to know the tosis. I want to know the Rashi. Okay, so that was what was pashut to him. That was pashut to Rebbe Lazar. Mehacha ka'amre le. Mehacha ka'amre le. Wow. Rashi, you got us. Okay, Yosef, Sari Safin, Alpi, and then Shezkira, Gemora, El, Sheim, Osa, Mishicha, Shalo, Kederch, da. Okay, looks like I have over here some notes that the Ritva and the Muki Yosef and Tosus also swaying in over here. They're all going to town. What is it that Rashi means over here? Doesn't seem to be so clear. So it looks like I'm in good company. So I think that what it's dependent upon what Rashi said in this long Rashi over here, Mikani Kalim. This first part, we didn't really go over that first part of what it said over there, Mikani Kalim. But Meshicha the Behema in Behema. Is he able to be Kona the Kalim through Meshicha of the Behema? The Makda Boilach B'mocher Kalim. Below Behema. Initially, our question was the seller is selling kalim without the behemoth. That was the suffix. Can you buy the kalim without buying the animal, without acquiring the animal? But that implies that it was pashutz. There's the pshita that Rashi is talking about that he refers to in our later Rashis. I'm reading the Rashi di Ramasko mi Kani Kelim. If the guy was selling both of them, so then pshitalach. Then that would be obvious and self-evident that what that the mida kane behema kane kalim mishum toris chotzer, that he would acquire the kalim together with the behema through the din of chotzer. The behema would act as a chotzer. Ubehema so kachatzero. Oh, that's the background to Rabba's statement over here. Mikani Kalim. And that's what we said. We said, oh, that's Chatzar Maleches. He can't acquire the kalim because the animal's moving, and even if the animal's stopping, it won't work. So then we said Hilchasa. We meant to say that when it was tied up. when it was tied up. He the pshitale. That was the case that was pashut to Rabbi Lazar, that when it's tied up, he'd be able, if he did acquire the animal first, through means of kinyan. I guess it wouldn't be a kinyan through Mashiach like that, because he's not going to be able to be moshech an animal that's tied up. Somehow he did a kinyan, and like that, if he did a kinyan like that, the animal has a din of a chotzer, and then he could be called the kelim that are on the animal. That'll be work. That'll work, because then the animal tied up is doma to a chotzer. Kol hekad amrin b'Gemora Omer Rava. The case where Rava was talking about that it wouldn't work. Nehacha ka'amrele. Maybe all Rashi means to say is that from here, that's where he was asking from a case where the animal wasn't tied up, and then on that, Rava, which is a normal case, it's not a normal case that the animal's tied up, but that was the Gemora was machadish that was pashut was the unusual case when the animal was tied up. But if the animal is not tied up, which is the normal case, so then we have a problem. How are you going to acquire the kelim? That was the question. Okay, I see we're out of time. Okay, all the best, everybody. A great week, Bezrat Hashem. Everybody be well.
Thank you,
Okay.
Rabbi.
You too. Be well.
Okay, take care.
Lucy at 4?
I feel
Yes,
Bye-bye.
4 o'clock, Alan.
Yeah, 4 o'clock, okay. Ready.